Okay, my vision of Web3 is not exactly about the technology behind it. It's
Mhm.
amazing, but technology for me, and I suffer it every day, is not the most amazing thing because technology will always respond to the people in power. And if you're
Mhm.
not part of
Mhm.
that people
Mhm.
in power, it's not going to represent nothing for you. So, as a Cuban that is being blocked and banned from almost every website, and I need to use VPN to get into almost
Mhm.
every website, and I received these beautiful signs in red, you're black, you don't belong here, like you are a
Mhm.
criminal. It's very, very violent, the language and what you receive, that's part of our daily life. So for me, Web3 is like an alternative.
Yeah, Aimara Garcia Cabeza is our new guest. I'm very happy that you are here and welcome everybody to our episode number 14 already. So we have already learned a lot from freelancers and solopreneurs from all over the world. And I'm happy that Aimara is today in my TECONE Stories. We have again a very, very interesting story of Aimara. You're from Cuba and you worked all over the world, mostly remotely, right? Maybe
Yeah.
always remotely, I don't know. But yeah, please let us know your story. Let us know what you are doing and why you decided to be a freelancer and work on your own.
Okay, thank you very much, Werner, for having me here today. It's I always appreciate the opportunity to share my story. And hi, everybody. I'm Aimara Garcia Cabezas, and I'm from Cuba. And I live in Cuba. I'm in Cuba right now. So for some people, it's like, what? Yeah, that's me. So I think I being entrepreneur for me, it's been part of my life for more than a decade. But in Web3, it's pretty new for me. So it's
Mhm.
like it's a whole different thing because my country it's like a bubble, and the way we do things here in Cuba it's completely different, which is okay. It's not that bad at all, but you need to learn a lot of things. You realize how much you need to learn and adapt when you go outside
Mhm.
from your bubble, and in this case for me it's my personal bubble and my bubble in my island. So
Yeah.
it's I think it was like when I decided not to be a professor 13 years ago because
Mhm.
I come from the academy. I was
Mhm.
a university professor, but I was so tired of just uh, talking
Mhm.
and teaching things that I really wanted to do. I wanted to test things, how real they are. And I love investigating, I love researching.
Mhm.
And then I just decided to open my own business here in my hometown in Colón, Matanzas, Cuba. And
Mhm.
it didn't work out. But it
Yeah.
was great. Yeah, it didn't work out. I was completely wrong. I decided the wrong business in the wrong place. It was a beauty salon actually that helped me a lot to learn
Oh
about
wow.
women
Ah,
and
interesting. Uh-huh. Very interesting.
it was
Yeah.
so far from the person I was actually
Mm.
because I had nothing to do with beauty and stuff like that. But it was great to learn about women and
Mhm.
being feminine and being in companion with women and working with women. And
Mhm.
now I realize how important it was for me
Yes.
and my development as a human and my growth as a human. So then I just decided to keep going with entrepreneurial journey and found that the it was like a small business with my husband, and it was pretty good, a cell phone workshop or something like that, which is very good business here in Cuba. But then pandemic and everything changed,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it was when I decided to know more about Web3. I had no idea what Web3 was, just Bitcoin, and but I kind of fell in love with the whole technology behind it and the possibilities and what it means for me as a Cuban. And it
Mhm.
was for me was like, wow, this is a whole new world, and I want to be part of this. But
Mhm.
it's been hard for me because I've been almost 3 years in Web3 outside my comfort zone because everything I've learned, it's been in English. In North American communities, and the culture is not the same, the language and the way of thinking, everything is so different. But I think it was amazing because for me, growing as a human being is very important. And now I understood, thanks to many people, you among them, that I needed to do and build my own place. I haven't found my place in Web3 because people tell me you are so different. And I always say it's not that I think I'm different, it's that people keep telling me you are different. So well, it seems that I'm a little bit different. And I'm a multi-potentialite person. That's something I've learned recently. And it means that I'm not a specialist, I'm a generalist. And I can do a lot of things, and which is very good for an entrepreneur, actually. And it's like heaven because you can do so many things at the same time. It's not a nightmare, it's the opposite. And I just decided, as I said, following the advice of so many people that have been important in my journey, that I just needed to follow my entrepreneurial intuition and start building my own place, my own corner of Web3, and expanded and extended it, to other people. And that's how I'm here.
Wonderful, wonderful story. No, really. Yeah. It's a wonderful story, and I can understand so good because I was also a professor and I stepped out. I also was tired of all these political issues. I mean, you have in a university and you want to research and make new things, and you cannot because you have not the people who cooperate with you, and you cannot because the people tell you you are not allowed to and you should not do it, but you want to do it, right? And so I can really understand. And so everything in your journey makes sense, but not always in this time, but maybe if you look back, right? So then it makes sense. Then, as you told me, I mean, how does a beauty salon or a beauty business make sense in such a journey? But if you look back, right, it makes a lot of sense. And so you have your unique positioning, right? So the most people I meet, and the most people are in my coachings, I need to tell them you have to make a unique selling proposition and make it unique, right? And don't be a copy of somebody. But this is not in your case, right? In your case, it's the opposite. You're very special, and you have your special journey. But how can you fit your new ideas and your very special journey and always having new ideas? How can you fit it in this world? And how can you earn money with that? Because I think you have the opposite problem, right? Not being a copy is not the problem. Your problem is how can you fit your ideas and your new ideas into a daily business? So how can you bring this together? What is your learnings from the last year?
Yes, I think that you can build things alone. You need to open up to the world. I think that was one of the biggest learnings I had last year, because I was so afraid, because all the time I decided to open myself. People keep telling me, you're so unique, you're so different, oh, your journey is so, and I was so afraid because it's scary, it's like, oh God, why? I just wait, stop, no. But then I realized that, hey, this is not just about me. This is about all the people like me that don't have a voice and maybe are too afraid to open up to the world because you're different and your story is like not the same story. So what? That's great. That's amazing. That's something people want to know. And suddenly you're surprised. You get surprised. People surprise you like, oh, tell me more. I want to know more about you and your journey. And I'm like, oh, really? So you're so interested in life just like me. I'm not interested. Oh, no, you are. Okay, fine. So if I have to say something, just embrace who you are. And I think that open up to the world. And in my case, in Web3, was stop asking or actually stop repeating what Web3 is and start to asking to myself what Web3 is for me as a woman, a Cuban, a multi-potentialite person, a poet, a Latin American, a human, So I had to do this journey deep inside of myself. What do I want to do in this world? Why am I here? My mission, my values. That was part of my transition somehow. And that I think that made me stronger. I'm still scared. I'm always scared. Right now I'm super scared. People tell me, but you don't look, I'm a great actress, that's it.
Yeah, of course.
But
I mean, you don't know what is the next step, but you're going one step after the other. And I
anyway,
think you learned
exactly.
that. You learned that
Exactly.
it works. And if you're going, then it works. But let me know, what is Web3 for you? So, because Web3 is so many things and so many people talk about Web3 and many people are confused. But what is for you in your daily life? And what can people learn from you in the Web3 space?
Okay, my vision of Web3 is not exactly about the technology behind it. It's amazing, but technology for me, and I suffer it every day, is not the most amazing thing because technology will always respond to the people in power. And if you're not part of that people in power, it's not going to represent nothing for you. So as a Cuban that is being blocked and banned from almost every website, and I need to use VPN to get into almost every website, and I received these beautiful signs in red, you're black, you don't belong here, like you are a criminal. It's very, very violent, the language and what you receive, that's part of our daily life. So for me, Web3 is like an alternative. It's not what it is right now, but what it can be. And the mind shift. For me, it's a cultural shift, it's a mind shift. That's why it's so difficult because you can do that in 2 days. And just because the tech is so cool, that's not gonna happen. And I think it's easier for us people in the global south because it's an alternative and we are so used, and I know you understand it because where you live right now and you've been
Yes.
experienced the difference.
True.
So
Yeah.
for us it's not difficult to embrace this new idea because we've been colonized so many times. If we've been told so many times what is this and what is success and what is development and what is rich and what is poor, I'm just done. It's time for us to say, hey, you know what? Web3 is this alternative, this different way of doing things, this different way of structure our organizations, our businesses, our relationship with clients. Everything is different because we can do things our own way. I mean, I'm part of a Web3 community that it's focused on Latin American women, and we are trying to find new ways of doing business models. That's what we're doing with Aulacam. And that's one of the reasons I started my project because it's different. It's another way of doing things. In the current design of the world, that's not possible for people like me. So Web3 at least is this alternative. And at least I exist. I'm not a ghost. Because in Web2, I'm a ghost. I don't exist. I'm not allowed to exist. So that's Web3 for me. It's so collaborative. It's so much about community. It's about open your work, about building in public, being together, and that's so natural for me as a Cuban because that was the way I was raised back in the 80s. So it's in my DNA. It's not difficult for me to, oh yeah, I get that. I understand and align my values with collective values. That's so easy for me to do. I need to learn the opposite. I need to learn to wait, focus on yourself, focus on your values, and then align. So is that the collective first, and then it needs a balance. Okay, so that's Web3 for me. And what I always say to people is do the same. Ask yourself what is for you, because in the end, we are Web3. It's not about technology, it's about people, it's about humans. It's been always about humans. Everything is about us.
Yeah, and I believe this is really also about technology research and innovation, and this is also the reason why you and me, we couldn't stay in the universities, because it's very restricted there. But this is today, right? And it's with all technology. I mean, Web 2, there was the time when it was opening the world, where you could connect suddenly, and companies like China and India and whatever countries were connected to the world. But now,
Yeah,
of
exactly.
course, the powers and the governments have taken it over, and now we need the next technology. And I think this will be always the case, right? The airplane was the technology for more liberty. Today, it's not the case anymore, right? So we invented the internet, and now we have Web3. And so this is about connecting people and about innovation and about research. Of course, we have also the challenges of technologies, but we have also this good side of connecting people. And so for you, it's daily necessity. It's the daily life, right? Without Web3, you would not exist. I think that is an amazing sentence you said here. So, but how do you bring these worlds together? I mean, this is really interesting for me. You have these two bubbles, right? You have this daily life bubble, and you have this daily business life bubble, and they are in touch every day. I mean, I can feel that also here in Bolivia to some extent, right? But for you, it's much more like this. So how do you bring these worlds together, these two worlds which are very far away, but in your case, they are very close to each other?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's easy, because it is not. It's a challenge. And I'm still learning how to do that, because sometimes I live in four walls inside my room. This is my bedroom, mine and my husband's bedroom. This is my bubble. This is where everything happens. So when I go outside and I have these reality shocks that I have, because I go back to reality, because this is a reality for me. But when I just talk to people and I remember the rest of Cuba, I'm like, I feel it's hard to like, wait. It's like, I don't know if it's the right thing to say, but it's like going to the out space and going back and feel gravity again.
Oh, wow.
And everything. Yes, because I love what I do in Web3. I am so passionate about what I do. And when you do what you love and you're so passionate about it, you don't realize how much you work. And that's something you need to deal with too, because sometimes I work until I'm exhausted, and I'm really, really trying not to do that right now. But sometimes, and to be very, very honest, sometimes it's my alternative to my reality in my country. We're having a huge financial crisis right now.
Yes.
Big, the biggest in 30 years. I'm really sure about that. So people around me are so not upset, but maybe tired, and they just don't have the dreams they used to have like 5 years ago. And for me, it's different. I'm like, Baba, and they are like that. So
do the people realize that outside, that you are different? Because
yes, I'm too happy.
Okay, so
Sometimes,
you're too happy because you have this other world. But is there a
yes,
chance to bring these worlds more together?
I
Is
think
there a
yes,
chance
yes,
to make
yes.
more overlap than only with
I
you?
yes, I really think so, but it's gonna take time.
Okay.
It's not gonna be easy, because every time you talk about Web3 in countries like Cuba, the first thing that people hear is scam, because it was the way that people here know about cryptocurrency and be your own boss. Do you want to be your own boss? It was awful. It was 5 years ago, but you know how psychic works, and it's not easy to change that image. And also, it's very difficult to explain. The language barrier is huge, because even when I create content, and I love creating content about Web3, about the stories, the human stories that really touch emotions, it's very, very difficult to do it in Spanish without just mentioning one single term in English. It's so hard. At least right now, I feel very, very proud of myself and my parents, because at least that thing that you do became the next internet. So I'm like, oh my God, at least, yes, I'm working in the next internet. So they understood at least something, because Until then, it was like that thing that you do in your room, like I was 13, 14 years old. It's very difficult to explain. But I really think what I'm doing or what I'm trying to do is not explaining anymore, but showing. So this is Web3. And if I have some, even the smaller achievement in my Web3 journey, and I share it with people around me, and people get excited about it, and this is Web3. So I don't need to go and say, because blockchain and web, and people just, they block everything. And it's like, I can see them like, no. So I really try, I have the emphasis that maybe if I show them what Web3 is, they're going to understand it better than if I explain them what Web3 is.
Interesting. Very interesting. So it's a language issue too, right? And it's very interesting that it's hard to explain it in Spanish. I guess it's also hard to explain it in German, but in German we are used to English terms, so it's easier, right?
Yes.
But I know in Latin American Spanish, English is not so common. Yeah, so that's I can understand that. But how can you show? How can you show that? I mean, it's still very theoretical. It's still bits and bytes which you cannot touch. So what are your stories? You told
For
it,
instance,
you did it. So make an example, please. Yeah.
For instance, recently with my project Nomai, we decided to apply for a TEC-ONE grant for having fun, and they accept us, and we earn at least a bit of some funds for the project. And we decided to use, the three of us decided to use that small capital to pay our internet here in Cuba. That's a huge thing. That's big for us. We can say you have internet, guarantee internet for I don't know how many months. So that's something that people is like, how can you have the best internet here in Cuba and you can be connected all the time? Oh, I'm gonna tell you how I did it.
Web3. Okay, so you can bring the connection, and it's very practical because the people want to have the same, and you show how it works.
Exactly. That's at least a possibility. As I said, it's not for everybody, no, but at least it's my way of doing that. And
yeah,
it's I might be wrong. Okay.
No, that's very good because it's very practical. Because people think you can do arts, NFT arts or whatever, but the people can still not adapt to it. But with daily internet, the people can feel that. The people can experience that. They can even come to your place and see it works.
Yeah, something something similar happened to me in 2022 when I traveled to India. For a Cuban, the whole idea of traveling is a huge thing, okay? Because it's very difficult for us to travel abroad. And when suddenly this Cuban traveled by the first time over the Atlantic and whole world to India. And suddenly people saw pictures of me in India and people around me, my family, even my family was like, what? How is that? What? And then, oh, I'm here because I'm an NFT event, because we are part of the sponsors and the project I was part by then. And we are gonna have a workshop teaching people about Web3 and how you can actually have your wallet. It's a very simple thing. And they were so interested. They were like, what? Because they connected with this huge thing that it's for a Cuban to travel. Yes. Just picture that.
Yeah, that's very insightful, and this is one topic of our TECONE Stories also, always traveling and working. And I think this is so interesting because today we can bring together traveling, living, working, everything because of the digital world, right? And we can also rearrange our daily work-life balance, so we can completely change our schedule. So what is your experience with digital nomads, digital freelancers, digital work and traveling? How do you like that?
I would love to do that. I really would love to do that because for me, happiness is not what you have, it's what you experience. So I would love to be a digital nomad, and I would love to be like we call it here in Cuba, that is a little bug. That it's not a bug actually. It's okay. You have your whole house with you. You just carry it with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to do that because I think it's amazing to be free, and that's freedom for me, from movement, to learn about culture, to experience, not just learn, okay, experience other cultures. That's amazing. That would be great. And the possibility and the opportunity of just working from all over the world, it would be great. For me, it would be amazing. Yes, I would love to do
but
that.
you experienced already a little bit when you have been in India, right? Or when you were in
Yes, of
India.
course. I was working. People, oh, you're having fun. Yeah, I'm having fun, but I'm working here.
Cool.
I did come as a tourist. We had to prepare the workshop. We had to work actually, and being part of the event. So it was pretty amazing. And I really would love to repeat that.
And I mean, this is what I mean, right? Today, traveling and having fun and having free time and working, it comes much closer together. You cannot disconnect it anymore. I mean, some people do it, but it comes much closer together. And it's on the one side it's difficult, but on one side it's also more freedom, and you can organize it for yourself. Of course, you need to have a structure for this, and you need to organize it for yourself. But how do you do it? So how do you bring work and free time and leisure time and all this together? How do you organize yourself in this?
Actually, I'm not a very organized person. And I have to say, I tried to do that last year and bring some more structure in my life. And it turns that too much structure it's so stressful for me. So I really need to have time to enjoy what I do and to listen to music and to go outside and be with my chickens and my rooster and to have time with my husband and seeing cartoons. I love watching cartoons, by the way. And that's something that even when I understood that working hard is not exactly what I need. I don't know. I can work, of course, and I can be a whole weekend working if I am enjoying what I'm doing. So I think that it depends to each one of us. We are very different from each other. And at least for me, what works is, okay, I work better in the morning, so I have my heavy work, deep work in the mornings, and then I try to having these small times when I can relax and go back. Even when I'm relaxing, I don't know if please in the audience, if this happened to you, please comment that somehow, because sometimes when I'm enjoying something I'm doing and I'm not thinking about work, and I'm like, oh my God, I got it. Yes, what I have to do is this, and suddenly I solve the problem. And I need to do this more because I'm working when I'm relaxing. So, and that's amazing because I think it's not natural for us humans to, like break ourselves in different, because we are just one being. This is it. This is what we are. Maybe for other people works better at night. Okay, maybe So I think you need to know yourself. You need to know what works for you. I don't like this whole recipes. Do this and then do that and then do this and this and this and it's gonna work for you. Something I really love about your coaching, Werner, was exactly how flexible you were with me, because you were all the time like, this is maybe this is going to work for you and this can work for you and you have to think and you have to do this and then I came up with the whole idea and it was here all the time. It was, oh my God. So I think it's about it. I'm a very flexible person. I'm a very creative person, and sometimes I don't have these boundaries from work and my relaxing time, my family time. Sometimes I work with my husband, so sometimes we are working together.
Oh, great! Oh, wow, that's very, very good.
Yeah, and my best friend. I mean, Inomai is my project. The three of us, one of my best friends in life, my husband and I. So it's great to work together because we work, but we enjoy at the same time. I think it's great. I think that's the best thing that could happen to me.
Yeah, and it's very good to bring real world and digital world together, that you have also one or two people you can work together. But of course, you have people all over the world you work together. And this is also what we do, right? I do a lot of digital work, of course. I work with the whole world, but at the same time, it's good to have also the touch points in the physical world, because this makes us more grounded also as humans. We are not only digital persons, right? The digital world helps us, but we are both, right?
Yeah, at the same time. It's very important for me also to be outside and be in touch with nature. Sometimes I just need it. I just need to see the trees and the green. Oh God, I love the green of life, and being outside with friends and just talking and laughing in the weekend. That's something I'm really trying to do. For instance, it's like weekends I'm off. Just maybe in certain moments that you need to do something, and I don't know, maybe apply for something, or having a deadline. But I'm really trying to bring to my life this holiday that the weekends are just for me and my family, my friends, and things that I just love to do, that it's not just job.
Yeah, true. But not separate it, but bring it together, right?
Bring it to, exactly. It's the opposite. I'm not trying to separate it, but just finding a way of, in my weird head, of making everything connected, because that's the way it works for me. It's just me.
Yeah. No, but that's very good. We talked already about coaching, and this is a topic in all of my podcasts. So I want to ask you the same question what I asked you last weeks already. What is a good coach for you?
I think I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but you for me until today, yes, because it was exactly how flexible you. I never felt judged, because sometimes when people tell you you are so different, you can feel, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a writer and I can read between lines. That's sometimes a nightmare. But I never felt like you were judging me or anything like that. It's this person that can really be in your shoes and can understand your situation. And even when you don't have all the answers, because that's not the idea, you are not focused in finding the answers. You are focused in me finding the answers I need, because I have the knowledge. So you are like a guide, like this light. At least it was for me, because it was in front of me, the answer. And I never in my life I would ever saw that missing piece that you helped me. So it was like, oh yeah, thank you. So it's this person that can have this walking with me, but without telling me what to do. That's perfect. That's just great. That's just helping me to find the answers by my own. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's good. That's the main idea, right? To help somebody to find the answers, right? And ask the right questions. Have you also experienced to be a mentor yourself on the university or in the Web3 space? How did it feel for you? Or how was it for you the first time? Or how does it feel for you to be a coach or mentor yourself?
It was hard because sometimes what you feel that you have to do is telling people what to do. And it's the opposite what I'm saying right now. But by then I had to learn. It's like it's not exactly like having a kid, but I think it's more or less the same. You have to prepare this person for its own life, their own life. And you can tell them what to do. You just have to give them the tools and just the skills, I would say, to find the answers by their own, because they're not right or wrong answers, just your answers. And it was a learning journey for me, but I really enjoyed. I love challenges, and I think that's when I first understood, like, being a teacher, being a professor, and a coach at the same time, a mentor. It's a huge challenge, and it's not easy to do, because you're not the first figure. You're like in the back, and you're trying to support this person, this mentee, or this person you're helping to go and keep going by itself, but by themselves, by by themselves.
Yes. Yeah. Very good. Yeah. What advice do you have if somebody wants to be a mentor, or if somebody is asked by somebody, "Can you be my mentor?" and he says yes? What is the first thing what a mentor should learn, or what a mentor should do? Do you have an advice for new mentors or for young mentors?
Yes. I think first of all, be sure that's something you want to do because you love it, because you love helping others. So for me, it's important to understand that you're there for helping them. And this whole idea will make you the whole exercise easier because the focus again is not in you. So that would be my advice. Do you really want to do this? Why you want to do this? And if the answer is not because I want to help, because I want to be there just to see the face of joy in this person I'm helping to finally understand, wow, yeah, I understand. If it's not if that's not the reason, don't do it. Don't do it.
That's a good advice. And it's a very good closing sentence. So, how to become a mentor, how to become an advisor, that's very good. And I think this is also very interesting for our audience. If you want to learn more from other freelancers, from other solopreneurs, please subscribe so that you can, or you will not miss any of the episodes. We had already very interesting guests. We will have other very interesting guests. And thank you, Aimara, for being a guest in this podcast and sharing your very exciting and different story, and shout it out to the world. And thank you for all your support to the audience, to the listeners. And we will stay in touch in any case, because I want to learn more from your next steps. I guess it will be a more exciting journey ahead of you too. So we'll have more interesting steps, more interesting learnings. And thank you for sharing your story.
No, thank you, Werner, again, and thank you for the opportunity, and thank the audience for having the time to listen to this crazy Cuban girl.
Thank you, Aimara. Thank you, everybody, and see you all soon.